Cricket is where we start this Wednesday edition of the SportsMax Zone. Mandate set, and Conde Riley once again has the new ball for a fourth term as president of the Barbados Cricket Association. Riley was re-elected during the BCA's annual general meeting on the 14th of August. The retired banker earned 75 votes to narrowly beat Vice President Calvin Hope, who got 72. The other candidate, Secretary Gregory Nichols, had 37 votes. We're pleased to welcome to the SportsMax Zone Mr. Conde Riley. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Riley. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Great to hear.
Getting ready for game, the Barbados Royals, the game family Trinidad.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to that as well, because we'll be showing the CPL immediately after the SportsMax Zone. But let's start here, Mr. Riley. I mean, we had gotten a word on the original nomination day that no one had been nominated for the post of president of the BCA. How did that strike you as the man who has been in charge for a while now?
Well, I miscalculated the deadline. I thought it was going to be on the next day, so I didn't submit my nomination. I was being proposed by Sir Garfield Sobers and seconded by Cameron Smith. So then I had to settle for that, and then nominations had to come from the floor. My secretary and my vice president challenged. They got nominated from the floor as well.
So did everyone miscalculate the deadline?
No. I don't think that they miscalculated. I miscalculated. If I had submitted my nomination, I would have been unopposed. But then, in the rules, you can be nominated from the floor. My vice president and secretary challenged me.
How did you take that challenge? How did that challenge greet you, given that those you had been serving with were willing to step forward and challenge you?
I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem. I felt that the work I had done over the last 28 years, that I would win. But it was very close. And I have to work with them now going forward for the next 2 years.
So I gather from what you're saying, Conde, that your longtime partner, Calvin Hope, who has served with you, and as far as I know, you're friends, the narrow margin of 3 votes that you beat him by has created no ill will between you two.
Of course not. Of course not. We've spoken over that, you know. We've spoken every day since then.
Yes.
Yeah, no problem at all.
All right. Well, Conde, Barbados for decades has been rated as one of the countries with the best administration of cricket. And, of course, the culture of Barbados is stronger for cricket than most other CARICOM countries. And you've been at the helm now for some time and a part of the BCA for an even longer period. What could you say to encourage fans of cricket in Barbados who are a little worried about the future of the game and its seeming declining public interest?
Well, no, I don't think we have declining public interest. We had our championship over the last 2 months, and we had big crowds and so on. Yeah. But everybody on my board is very ambitious. I probably am the second oldest person on the board. I welcome the challenges and so on.
Yeah, talk to us quickly about, you just mentioned the championships that you had. I see that there was some issue about the choice of venue, which some people liked and some people didn't. It was very evident that the T20 Cup final you had at Weymouth was flooded with fans, more fans that you probably would have gotten at Kensington Oval. But some purists believe that your top flight final should be played at Kensington Oval, where the facilities are better and the atmosphere is more embracing of a top flight match. But I recognize that from a crowd standpoint and the support, it was overwhelming. What was the post-mortem on the outing?
Well, Weymouth is the ground that the police, that's their ground. The other, in the Shield, we had it in the country at a place called Burton. We had a large crowd.
That's in St. Philip?
St. Philip, correct. And then we had the Shield. The play was in St. Philip. The Shield was at Carlton Club. Kensington Oval, and then we had the Cup, which is the major competition at Weymouth, the police ground.
Yes.
And we had thousands of people at all those grounds. These are like in the communities and so on. So I believe that going out into the communities with the support of the board and so on, that it worked very, very, very well.
But it was televised, and I was looking at it as well.
What I want to say, though, is that Kensington Oval is so large
Yes.
that there's no intimacy. You know, people
Yes.
are spread out across all the stands and so on.
Yes.
But when you go into the communities for these finals, you have a very intimate sort of situation, and the people from the communities come out. And we had wonderful, wonderful crowds for the three finals.
Yeah, it was obvious that it was enjoyable for the fans, and as you said, the community support was significantly more than it would have been if you had staged at Kensington Oval. But the outfield wasn't very good, and I'm not sure if the players enjoyed it as much as the fans did.
I tend to disagree with you. We've had some rain in Barbados, and the outfields were really good at Britain. Carlton Club, the Desmond Oval, and at the police ground. Yeah.
Okay, well, it was the police ground at Weymouth one that I saw, and I didn't think the outfield was that good.
Well, you know it is. You know it is. They don't have the kind of irrigation that we have at Kensington Oval and so on, but it wasn't bad. It was really okay.
So as you start off on your next term, Conde, all eyes will be on, what happens in this term. Clearly, you would have some unfinished business that you want to ensure that you execute as you continue on as president of the BCA. What would those priorities be?
Well, the one thing that back in 2008 that I set out to do was to have the National Indoor Facility. The government acquired a building right behind the Greenwich and Haynes stand. And I'm trying to get now the equipment now, the lanes and the cameras and so on, to have that indoor facility up and running for World Cup next year.
Aren't there indoor facilities, though, at Cave Hill, which was part of the High Performance Center?
They have an indoor facility, yes.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be available to as wide a cross-section of players as you would want, or you just want to beef up the choices and the opportunities for players to play indoors?
And not only that, the English counties like to come down for pre-season preparation. And that's one of the things that we don't have that I want to have as soon as possible, so that you're not compromised by the time of the day, the weather, and so on. So we've spoken to a number of companies in Pakistan and India to get that indoor facility up and running and get the equipment in, the lanes, the cameras, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I note here, Conde, that you've said that you've had this vision since 2005 of having the indoor facility in place. That's quite a long time it has taken to materialize. But in a quote from you, you also said, we need the money. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but it doesn't sound as if everything is in place to get this project done in good time.
Well, we owed millions of dollars from Cricket West Indies. We have a deed of lease with the government where, there's a company called Comey that they Kensington Oval Management Inc. They collect all of the revenue, you know, for they have vintage reggae, they have shows and so on. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think
And
Conde
they're
got
supposed to pay us
distracted.
$1.5 million a year. Collect all the money and pay us 1.5. We have not been paid since 2009. So we owe $25 million by BTMI, KDC, and Comey. But we are now negotiating with the government to, you know, collect some of that money. I believe if we collect half of that $25 million, Barbados, and if we can get half of the money from Cricket West Indies from hosting games and so on, we'll be able to get that indoor facility up and running and attract these English companies to come down here. We used to have 5 and 6 companies coming here for pre-season training and so on. So we owed a lot of money, but if we can get that, we'll be up and going.
Yeah, Conde, have you gotten any commitment either from Cricket West Indies or these companies that they will be able to pay over the monies in the time that you would require it to get this project done?
Yeah, we will be negotiating right now with a company that is working on behalf of government called White Oak to pay the monies owed by government to various institutions. It's just the quantum of money that they're offering us and what we feel as a board is reasonable. So if you owe me $25 million and you're paying all the other creditors 64%, pay us that and we will walk away.
And
in other words, if we could get half of the money owed by KDC and Comey,
and what?
12 million Barbados dollars.
Yeah, and what time frame have they committed to?
Well, we're negotiating right now.
Okay. So a time frame has not been finalized yet. Conde, is this going to be your final term as BCA president, or do you want to stay on longer than the next 2 years?
Well, I've been on this board for 28 years now, from 1996. So 27 years, and another 2 will put me under 29. And I'm kind of happy with what we have achieved as a board. Joe Garner was president for 10 years, and then I took over for the last 7 years. I was vice president to Joe. And we've achieved a lot, I would think.
Yeah.
I was saying to my board and the membership that in that time, coming out of the Avenue Week Center of Excellence, we produced a number of captains, Jason Holder, well, Carlos Braffett first, Jason Holder, and currently we have Craig Brathwaite, Haley Matthews, and Shea Hope. All of them are products of the Avenue Week Center of Excellence. We have about 8 coaches there working with them, and they've been doing very well. I want to say Jason was #1 all around in the world. I think that Craig is doing very well in terms of his prolific performances. And Haley, I think, has done very, very, very well.
Yeah.
Shea Hope also.
Yeah, quick one, Conde. Despite all those successes, are you concerned that given the number of voters, the number of delegates who went the other way in the case of the election, 72 of the delegates going with Calvin Hope, are you concerned that there is a suggestion there that you may not be the man to take the Barbados Cricket Association forward?
No, I'm not concerned. I won, you know, and I believe that I won because people believe that I had done a lot of work over the last 28 years. So it's what it is, you know?
Yeah. Later today, Conde, and you pointed it out at the top of the show, the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League, the Barbados leg begins, and that will be the Trinbago Knight Riders. They will be in action against the Royals. How excited are you to have the Caribbean Premier League back in Barbados?
I'm very excited. I believe that Kensington Oval and the kind of people that we have here. I was talking to Sir Gary, to West Hall, and all these legends and so on. And I think they're very happy about where we are right now. The main thing is that the process was a very democratic one. I don't have to win by 100 votes. You know, I have a plan. And once the board buys into the plan, we will continue to assist West Indies cricket in terms of, moving to another level. As I said, we have 3 captains in Haley Matthews, Craig Brathwaite, Shea Hope. They're all performing well. And I'll continue to work as hard as I can to ensure that we continue to help West Indies cricket go to the next level.
Yeah, Conde Riley, let's leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on the SportsMax Zone, and enjoy the Caribbean Premier League returning to Barbados later on today. Take care.
I'll be there, shortly.
All right. All right, viewers have a chance to win tickets to the CPL final in Guyana, set for September 24 with our Stream to Win promotion. All you have to do is download the SportsMax app from the Google Play Store or the App Store and watch all the CPL matches live. The user with most time spent on the app wins. All you have to do is to watch the SportsMax app. CPL, we're paying you to watch. Take a break. We're back with more.